When I opened this, everything changed. I finally knew the truth about my father.
I'm so sorry for what I did. I can't believe I ruined everything.
My wife of 10 years looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You'll never be her real dad. Stop pretending." Those words shattered me, but what she didn't know was the secret I'd been hiding for the last decade, a secret that would change everything. This is my story. My name is Marcus, and I'm 38 years old. 10 years ago, I married the love of my life, Sarah. She came with a beautiful 3-year-old daughter named Emma. From the moment I met that little girl with her bright green eyes and infectious giggle, I knew my life would never be the same. Sarah was a single mom. Emma's biological father had walked out before she was even born. Never paid child support, never called, never cared. He was just gone. A ghost who happened to share DNA with the most precious child I'd ever known. When Sarah and I started dating, she was upfront about Emma. She told me on our very first date that her daughter came first, always, that any man in her life had to understand that Emma was the priority. I remember sitting across from her at that little Italian restaurant, watching her fidget nervously with her napkin as she waited for my reaction. I smiled and said, I wouldn't want it any other way. And I meant it. Those first few months of dating were magical. Sarah would bring Emma along sometimes, and I'd watch this incredible woman being an amazing mother. The way she'd wipe Emma's face so gently. The way she'd crouch down to Emma's level to explain things. The way her whole face lit up when Emma laughed. Emma was shy with me at first. She'd hide behind her mother's legs, peeking out at me with those curious green eyes. But slowly, carefully, we built trust. I never pushed. I let her come to me on her own terms. The first time Emma reached for my hand, I thought my heart would explode. We were at the park, and she wanted to show me the swings. Her tiny hand slipped into mine so naturally, so innocently. Sarah had tears in her eyes watching us. After a year of dating, I proposed to Sarah. But I had a plan. After Sarah said yes, through happy tears, I knelt down in front of 4-year-old Emma. I had a small bracelet for her, with a little heart charm. Emma, I said softly, I'm asking your mom to marry me. But I'm also asking you, would it be okay if I became part of your family? I promise to always be here for you, to protect you, and to love you. What do you say? Emma looked at the bracelet, then at me, then at her mom. Then she threw her little arms around my neck and whispered, yes, Marcus, yes. I wasn't Dad yet, I was Marcus, and that was perfect. The wedding was small and beautiful. Emma was our flower girl, in a little white dress that matched Sarah's. At the reception, Emma fell asleep in my arms while Sarah and I danced. People took photos. Everyone said how sweet it was, how lucky Emma was to have found a good man to be her father figure. But here's what nobody knew. Here's the secret I've carried for 10 years. 3 months before I proposed to Sarah, I received a letter. It was from a lawyer's office. Inside was a DNA test result and a letter from Emma's biological father, Derek. Derek had gotten his life together. Apparently, he'd gone to rehab, gotten sober, found God, got a good job, and now he wanted to be in Emma's life. He wanted custody. Partial custody at first, then potentially full custody if he could prove he was stable. The DNA test confirmed he was Emma's biological father. His legal rights were clear, and his lawyer made it very clear that he intended to pursue those rights vigorously. I was just Sarah's boyfriend at the time. I had no legal standing, no rights, nothing. I should have told Sarah immediately. I know that. But I saw how happy she was, how peaceful. For the first time since I'd known her, she wasn't constantly looking over her shoulder, waiting for Derek to show up and cause chaos. She'd finally moved on. And Emma, sweet, innocent Emma, who had never known a father's love, who had finally started to trust me, to open up to me. How could I shatter that? So I made a decision. A terrible, selfish, illegal decision. I buried that letter. I ignored the lawyer's calls. I blocked their emails, and I prayed that Derek would give up and go away. He didn't. For 10 years, Derek tried to reach out, sometimes through lawyers, sometimes through letters to Sarah that I intercepted. Once, he even showed up at our house while Sarah was at work. I was home with Emma, who was about 7 at the time. I answered the door and saw a man who looked hauntingly like Emma. Same green eyes, same nose, same chin. I'm Derek, he said quietly. I'm Emma's father. I just want to see her, please. I told him to leave. I threatened to call the police. I said terrible things to him about being a deadbeat dad who had no right to suddenly want a relationship. I saw the hurt in his eyes, but I didn't care. I was protecting my family. I was protecting Emma from being confused and hurt. He left, but he said something as he walked away that haunted me. You're not her real dad, Marcus, and one day, she want to know me. You can't hide me forever. I shut the door and leaned against it, shaking. Emma called from upstairs. Marcus. Who was that? Nobody, sweetheart. I called back. Just someone selling something. Another lie. Another brick in the wall of deception I was building. Years passed. Emma grew up calling me dad now. It had happened naturally when she was about 6. We were at a school event, and she introduced me to her teacher as my dad. Sarah squeezed my hand so tight. We both had tears in our eyes. I adopted Emma legally when she was 7. Sarah and I both thought it was just a formality, making legal what was already true in our hearts. What Sarah didn't know was that I had forged documents, claiming Derek was unreachable and had abandoned his parental rights. I knew people who knew people. I paid money I shouldn't have had. I did illegal things to make sure Derek couldn't pop up and challenge the adoption. It worked. Emma was legally mine. But the guilt was eating me alive. I was a good father. I was present. I went to every school play, every soccer game, every parent-teacher conference. I helped with homework. I dried tears. I taught Emma to ride a bike, to swim, to drive. I walked her through her first heartbreak. I scared away bad boyfriends. I did everything a father should do. But I wasn't her real father. Derek was right about that. And no matter how much I loved Emma, no matter how much I was there for her, I had stolen something from her. The chance to know her biological father. The chance to make her own choice. And I had stolen from Derek too. 10 years of his daughter's life. First steps I'd witnessed that he hadn't. First words. First day of school. First crush. Everything. Last month, it all came crashing down. Emma is 13 now. A teenager with questions about where she came from, what she looks like, who she is. She asked Sarah about her biological father. Sarah gave her the same story she'd always been told. He left before Emma was born and never came back. He was a ghost. A nobody. Not worth thinking about. But 13-year-olds have the internet now. And Emma is smart. Resourceful. She started digging. She found Derek on Facebook. Same last name as her birth certificate's father unknown listing. Same hometown as where Sarah used to live. And most damning, photos of him that looked exactly like her. Emma confronted Sarah. She was crying, confused, angry. Why had we told her he never cared? Here was his Facebook page full of posts about wishing he could see his daughter. Posts about sobriety anniversaries and turning his life around. Posts about how much he regretted his past and wanted to make amends. Sarah was blindsided. She had no idea. She thought Derek had truly disappeared forever. That's when Emma dropped the bomb that changed everything. There are messages here, she said, showing Sarah her phone. From Dad. From Marcus. Telling Derek to stay away. Threatening him. Telling him he had no rights. The messages were from my email. Emma had figured out my password and gone through my account. She found everything. 10 years of blocked correspondence. Lawyer letters. Court documents I'd forged. Everything. Sarah looked at me with eyes I'd never seen before. Betrayal. Disgust. Rage. What have you done? She whispered. Emma was crying. Dad, why? Why would you do this? I couldn't speak. What could I say? How could I explain 10 years of lies? That's when Sarah said it. The words that broke me. You'll never be her real dad, Marcus. Stop pretending you had the right to make these decisions. Stop pretending you're some kind of hero. You're a liar. And you've been lying to us for Emma's entire life. She grabbed Emma and left. They went to Sarah's mother's house. That was 3 weeks ago. I've been living alone in our house since then. Sarah filed for separation. She's talking to a lawyer about annulment, based on fraud. Emma won't answer my calls. And Derek. Sarah reached out to him. They're doing a proper DNA test through the courts now. Though everyone knows what it will say. They're arranging meetings. Supervised at first, then hopefully building to a real relationship. I sit in Emma's empty room some nights. I look at the photos on her walls. Me teaching her to ride a bike. Me at her 10th birthday party. Me helping her with science fair projects. All those moments were real. My love was real. But so were the lies. I got a letter from Derek yesterday. I almost threw it away without reading it. But something made me open it. It was handwritten. Short, it said, "Marcus, I don't forgive you for what you did. You took 10 years of my daughter's life from me. But I want you to know something. Emma told me that you were a good dad to her. That you were there when I wasn't. And as much as I hate what you did, I'm grateful that she had someone who loved her. I wish you had been honest. I wish we could have found a way to both be in her life. But thank you for taking care of my daughter when I couldn't. I hope someday you can forgive yourself. Because I don't know if I can forgive you. But Emma needs stability now, not more conflict. So I'm not pressing charges for the fraud. I'm not trying to destroy you. I just want to know my daughter. I hope you can understand that. Derek." I cried for the first time in years, reading that letter. Yesterday, Sarah agreed to meet me for coffee. She looked tired, older. The sparkle I'd always loved in her eyes was dimmed. "Emma wants to see you," she said quietly. "Not to reconcile. Just to talk. She has questions." "Of course," I said immediately. "Whenever she's ready, I'll answer anything." Sarah nodded. Then she asked the question I'd been dreading. "Why, Marcus? Why did you lie for so long?" I took a deep breath. "Because I was selfish. Because I loved you both so much that I couldn't stand the thought of losing you. Because I convinced myself I was protecting Emma. But really I was protecting myself. I was scared that if Derek came back into her life, there wouldn't be room for me. That she'd choose him over me. So I made the choice for her. And that was wrong. That was so wrong." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "You didn't trust our love. Emma's love for you. You didn't trust that there could be room for both of you in her life." She was right. I didn't trust it. I was too afraid. "I don't know if I can ever forgive you," Sarah continued. "You didn't just lie to me. You committed fraud. You kept a father from his child. You stole something precious from both of them." "I know," I whispered. "I'll spend the rest of my life regretting it." "Good," she said coldly. Then she stood up. "Emma will text you about meeting. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be." She left me sitting there with cold coffee and a broken heart. Today, I'm meeting Emma. I don't know what she'll say. I don't know if she'll ever forgive me. I don't know if she still want me in her life. But I'm going to tell her the truth. All of it. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to tell her that everything I did came from love. But that love doesn't excuse lies. That I was wrong. That she deserved better. I'm going to tell her that Derek deserves a chance. That she should get to know him without feeling guilty about it. That loving him doesn't mean she has to stop loving me, if she even still does. And I'm going to tell her that no matter what happens, no matter what she decides, I will always love her. That the years we had together were real. That every moment, every memory, every "I love you" Dad meant the world to me. She may never call me Dad again. She may choose Derek. She may hate me forever. But I'm going to face what I've done. No more lies. No more hiding. I don't know how this story ends yet. I'm living in the uncertainty right now. But I wanted to share it because maybe someone out there is facing a similar choice. Maybe someone is about to lie to protect themselves. Convincing themselves it's for the good of someone they love. Don't do it. Don't make my mistake. Trust, love. Trust truth. Trust that people are stronger than you think. That they can handle hard things if you're honest with them. I broke my family with lies. I destroyed trust that took years to build. And now I'm living with the consequences. Whatever happens with Emma, I deserve it. I just hope that someday, somehow, she can understand that while my methods were wrong, my love was always real. So there you have it. My story, my confession. My biggest regret. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have told the truth from the beginning? Or would you have made the same mistake I did? And here's the bigger question. Can love built on lies ever really be love? Or does honesty have to be the foundation of everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious what you all think. And if this story moved you in any way, whether you agreed with me or thought I was completely wrong, hit that subscribe button. Because life is complicated, and real stories like this deserve to be heard. Should Emma forgive me? Should Sarah give me another chance? Or have I destroyed everything beyond repair? Let me know what you think. Comment below. See you in the next one. Thank you.